For today, I will teach you how to create, update, delete in Android using Jetpack Compose. First, let's download Arctic Fox. After successful installation, let's create new project. Make sure to select Empty Compose Activity. Type your project name, then select Finish. In your Apps Gradle, add the navigation component dependency to navigate between composables or screen. Also update your Compose version to Beta 4. Press Sync now. Create Compose product app. Alt-Enter, then extract to separate file. This will be our main navigation controller. Create isFab visible variable to show or hide the floating action button. Create listener to identify what screen are currently displaying. If we are in home screen, set to true, otherwise false. Create scaffold for our layout structure. Then pass top up bar as our argument in our scaffold. This will be the toolbar in the upper screen. Add floating action button or fob. We create condition here to show or hide the fob. Let's create another composable for our fob. When this is pressed, it will navigate to add new product screen. Then add icon and padding. Now, let's create nav host to construct our navigation graph. Let's add our home and add product screen here. Also, let's create a sealed class for our screens and constants. Create composable for our home screen in UI.home package. Let's add some text to check we are on right screen. Also, create composable for our new product as well. Add import and let's try to run our project. We can see we have our home screen and new product screen. We have product list variable from our view model. Later, we will create our home view model. Now, create our product list composable. We pass the product list and ID in our items. This will iterate based on the list count. Create product row composable for every items in the list. Also, list divider to separate each row by adding a line. Now, create our home view model. Product repository to initiate different operation in manipulating our database. Product list variable, it will automatically notify the views when data changes. We call getProductList function on first initialize to load the list. Now, let's create the product repository in data.repository package. For now, since we don't have database yet, let's create a product list variable and a product model with ID, name, and price fields. Create function to get all product lists. Add imports for our product model. Add necessary imports and let's comment this for now. Try to run the app and we now have the list products. No on-click implementation yet. Let's add common composables that we can reuse. Simple button that has text and on-click parameter. Simple text field for our user input. Product fields contains input for our product name and price. We can reuse this composable for adding and updating product. Lastly, we have text field state that has mutable state variable. Any changes to its value will schedule recomposition of any composable function that read that value. Create util and create show toast message function. Also, create simple factory for our view model. This will help us to pass argument in our view model. This factory is from Google. Now, let's update our new product composable. We have on submit. This will update our database. This will close the new product screen to back to home screen. This will show added successfully message. We have full screen column and all its child will be in center. We reuse the product fields in our common for our name and price input. Also, simple button to be pressed when we add product. Now, let's create our new product view model. State to observe in our user input like product name and price. We have the add product function. We use view model scope that launch to perform tasks in background thread. Then call add product in our repository. Create add product function to update our product list. Add string resource and let's try to run it. When we press the fab, it will navigate to new product screen. We can now input our product name and price, box item with a price of 10 in our product list. Let's add composable in our navigation for our update product screen. We add arguments with int type to pass our product ID from the list. Also, create function to simplify the code when we navigate to product detail. Create constant. Now, let's create the product detail screen in the UI.productDetail. This screen accepts product ID and we have validation to check if our product ID is null. We use the view model factory from our util to pass argument in our view model. Let's create the product detail screen and pass our state. Reuse the product fields from our common. Also, simple button for our update. Now, let's create the product detail view model. We call this function in our init to get product details based on ID. Update our state based from the repository. We have the update and delete product function. Now, let's go to the repository and create the get product from ID function. Also, update and delete function. Uncomment the navigation to product detail. Finally, run the app. Let's update the item rubrics. We can now see the updated name and price. Now, let's try to delete this item. And that's it. We now have the create, update, delete operation. Let me know in the comment what tutorials you want for the next video, or if you want me to continue this to integrate with Firebase real-time database or local database or using REST client. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more tutorials.